Kevin Fitzgerald.
Syracuse is 15-0, number 2 in the country. UNC an up and down seesaw season, 10-5 overall, 0-2 in the conference. If they cannot break Syracuse's zone, they struggle to shoot from outside. They're going to fall to 0-3 to start the ACC play then.
And it'd be a long way from where they came to start the season. Again, this was a top 20 team for the last 2 months with big wins over a top-ranked Michigan State team that looks like it could be a number 1 seed in the tournament come March. But it's up and down for North Carolina. They've got to figure it out. A win today would go a long way.
They're strong in the paint. They struggle to shoot from outside. Both teams ready. The orange in their home whites with the orange lettering and silver numbers. UNC in their powder blue road unis with a white stripe down the side. Christmas to the left. James to the right. Ball goes up. Swatted to the far side of the court. Picked up by Nate Britt. And UNC charges right to left. Britt, a freshman, starting point guard for UNC, controls the rock straight away. Pass over to Marcus Page, team's leading scorer straight away. Dribbles to the left, finds James Michael McAdoo, dumps one inside for the right block, gets it back, turnaround hook, shot center of the lane, got it. Give and go, 2-0 UNC, 30 seconds in.
And again, that's the key for North Carolina here in this game. Get inside the interior of the zone, attack SU's bigs. That's where you'll find success.
They've got 3 guys in the starting lineup, 6'9" or taller. Entry pass to Christmas, right block, stolen away by James Michael McAdoo. Up ahead to JP Tokudo, he's on the right wing. Stops and fires one up top to Britt. UNC tries to play very fast. They like to get out in transition. Struggled to do that this year. McAdoo, free throw line, flips to Tokudo. 15-footer, got it straight away. UNC's up 4-0. A minute into the ball game. Orange back on offense. Ennis walks it across half court, left to right. Freshman solid a couple nights ago against Virginia Tech. 13 points, 7 assists. Gives way to CJ, drives left alley, reverse right hand in. Falling to the deck, he gets back up and swings back on deep. Syracuse on the board, 4-2. They trail by just a field goal.
Huge athletic play by Fair there. He went up with a right, and as we know, Fair a lefty.
Page drives right side, back out to Britt, high right wing, flips to McAdoo, left elbow, spins and steps back out behind the arc. 15 on the shot clock, pass tipped at the free throw line, stolen by Fair. Up ahead to Cooney, half court far side. He stops and slows it down, high left wing. The orange on offense attacking the right hoop. 2 minutes into the opening frame, Syracuse and UNC. First ever ACC meeting between these two teams. Fair, left elbow, ball knocked out of his hand. Skeeters to the far side of the court, and Britt comes up with it for UNC. He tracks it down, now right to left. 4-2. Early on in this game, UNC on top. Nearly 2.5 minutes in first half.
It's going to be one of the keys for UNC. Double Fair or whoever has the ball in the paint to force that turnover.
Pass to the paint. McAdoo turnaround jumper rattles in from the free throw line. McAdoo with 4 points. The junior out of Norfolk, Virginia. Big body, 6'9", 230 in the paint. Knocks Ennis' pass away at half court. Coast to coast slam. That's court vision. He came up from the paint to steal that one away beyond the arc. He's got 6 points. UNC's up 8-2. Ennis off a screen right. Stops at the elbow. Passes to Green. Flips up the layup. No good. Out of bounds. Last touch by UNC. Stays with Syracuse underneath the hoop.
Tell you something. James Michael McAdoo might be the most underrated player on this UNC team. He almost led them in scoring last season. Did lead them in rebounding and steals.
Well, he's got a long wingspan guarding the inbounds pass. Goes out to Cooney left side. 3 minutes in first half. UNC off to a hot start. Syracuse trails by 6. Ennis splits the deep down the lane. Right hand layup off glass and in. He does that so effectively he can get to the hoop. 2 points for Ennis. He's on the board. UNC on offense. Left side drive. McAdoo off the glass. Follow slam from Tokudo in and out. Last touch by James. Ball to UNC out of bounds. The man that corrals it behind the hoop is Syracuse football coach Scott Schaefer. He flips it to the ref, and CJ inbounds to Ennis far side. Coach Schaefer, he's got a smile on his face. Texas Bowl champion. Back to Jim Boeheim court. Ennis controlling for the orange straight away. Nearly 4 minutes in first half, Syracuse down 8-4 against UNC. A team that's been up and down all season long. 5 losses. Screen right, stops, gives to Ennis straight away. Fouled, driving down the lane. Nate Britt bumped him at the free throw line. Now Nate Britt is a good defender. Ben, he's probably the best on-ball defender that UNC has.
Yeah, I mean, it's a true freshman, too. It's almost surprising, but he does force a steal and a half per game. He doesn't turn the ball over that much. He gets a block in the game, too.
He's guarding Ennis, top of the key. Inbounds pass to the right of the hoop goes to Fair straight away beyond the arc. Ennis screen left. Can't find by Musakeda cutting to the paint. He just checked in for Rakeem Christmas. Ennis still dribbling, top of the key. Finds Grant off his hands, out of bounds near side. C.J. Fair arguing that it was last touched by UNC. Regardless, the Tar Heels inbound on the near side of the floor when we come back. A little over 4 minutes gone by. First half, it's number 2 Syracuse and UNC inside the dome. 8-4. Tar Heels lead. We'll be back in a minute. SU Hoops on the original home of the Orange. WAPO.
Welcome, college basketball fans. It's time to decide the nation's best team.
There's probably a good 8 teams, 10 teams that are in the top 10. And then there's 10 other teams that would beat any one of those 10.
Let's take a look at our contestants, shall we? Who's behind door number 1?
Shoots, and he missed it off to the left. The Bulldogs have knocked off the top-rated team in the land, the Indiana Hoosiers.
Oh no, Indiana, I don't think you'll do. Contestant 2?
2 seconds left, 1, and Jeremy Grip hammers down a slam. Syracuse upsets number 1 Louisville on the road.
I'm terribly sorry, Louisville. And finally, door number 3.
Miami beats number 1 Duke 90-63. What happened here tonight?
Oh boy, looks like our contestants have struck out. Which teams really are the best in the country?
That's a great question. The college landscape has been an absolute circus this season. Not only has the nation's number 1 team lost each of the last 5 weeks, but how about Kansas? After a 19-1 start, the Jayhawks lost 3 straight to unranked teams. Villanova started 11-7 and then beat 2 top 5 teams back-to-back. And remember the Dukies? Yeah, they were knocked off a second time as the country's top team. Okay, did you get all that?
What the hell's going on out here?
Let's find out.
We don't have any dominant teams. I don't think we have a team you would call historically great.
Jay Billis is a college hoops analyst at ESPN.
Will we remember these teams for having been historically great, that we could pit them against any team that's ever played and they would do well? I don't think we've got that.
Len Robbins of the New York Post agrees this year's slew of upsets might be driving everyone crazy.
For the first time in a while, we haven't been able to identify one team and say that's the one we've got to beat.
Inbounds pass to Brust across half court. He'll hoist one up. He hit it! Bob Brust with 3! Let's play 5 more minutes in Madison!
There's no evil empire right now.
But why are so many ranked teams susceptible to the upset this year?
There are more kids playing basketball at an earlier age. There are more AAU tournaments. There's so many different places that these coaches are going to see kids.
ESPN college basketball expert Sean Farnham knows the talent across the country has grown.
People enjoy it because it's kind of a populist thing. The big conferences are making all the money. They dominate all the publicity.
Let's take a look at those big conferences. In the Big East, the top 9 teams are separated by just 2 games. The Big Ten has 9 squads with winning records.
People don't realize how hard it is to win in your league. Doesn't matter how good you are. You know, you've been playing those same teams for years after years after years.
Former Butler guard Ronald Norred knows a thing or two about upsets. Cuse fans experienced one of his Bulldogs' Final Four runs in 2010.
Norrin for 3. They gotta hurry. Jardine spinning. Strap. Norrin one hand. And how about this? Butler.
That's my favorite game I ever played in.
All right, we get it. It's one thing to win in the regular season, but the story of the underdog lives in the NCAA tournament.
That's the charm of the NCAA tournament. I mean, it doesn't work this way almost anywhere else. This is one and done. All you have to do is be better that one day.
This is fun. We say, man, this is a whole lot of fun, and our preparation was really good. We knew when we needed to focus, and we knew when we could relax and have fun, and so we were just enjoying it.
Let me ask you this. Did anybody know where Davidson was until they went on their run?
Davidson head coach Bob McKillop's squad reached the Elite Eight as a 10 seed in 2008. He says because of their recent big game experience.
That's the real trick. Getting guys who have been in the tournament, who played in the tournament. One thing being a senior, another being a senior with experience in NCAA tournament play.
Yeah, you all remember Stephen Curry.
He's got Curry on the wing. He's going to spot up. There he goes. We got a star.
When you have a guy like Stephen Curry, it seemed like he was even more consistent in NCAA tournament play. The bigger the game was, the bigger he played.
Sean Farnham knows firsthand no team should be taken for granted in the big dance.
My junior year, we lost to Detroit Mercy, and that was an immature basketball team.
His UCLA squad was a number 5 seed in 1999 when they were upset in the first round.
Man, we're playing Detroit Mercy. We've got 7 NBA guys on our roster. Come on. Who do we got in the second round? And that was the mindset of a majority of the guys on our team. And in college basketball, you get 1 or 2 guys to think that way, and it can really hurt you.
The underdog mindset is simple. There is no tomorrow.
Any day of the week, I would love to be a Brad Stevens number 8 seed. Any day of the week.
And it's because the competition in mid-major conferences has vastly improved.
You mentioned Ronald Norred. How did he wind up from Alabama in Butler? I mean, how does that happen? Well, what an unbelievable talent he was.
So once March rolls around, how in the world are you going to choose your Final Four?
Take your piece of paper, look at the top 15, cut off at the top 15, close your eyes, put your finger down on the piece of paper. That team has a legitimate chance to get to the Final Four.
You might as well have your dog step on an ink pad and then walk over the grid, and your dog might be the winner in your office pool.
And that's what we're looking at in college basketball this year. It's fun. It's exciting.
Mr. Billis?
You have to say, who can make it? You're talking about 16 teams that have a legit chance to do that. So you really kind of don't know what's going to happen. If I knew who was going to win these games, I'd go to Vegas. I wouldn't be in this job.
Kevin Fitzgerald here with you alongside Gabe Altieri. Up top of the press booth above the Carrier Dome turf. Campanero injured his collarbone in the first quarter after recording just 2 catches. Took a shot from Marquise Sproul, Syracuse's middle linebacker. Hasn't been in the game since. Because of that, Wake Forest shut out. 7-0 Orange lead. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. SU with the football in its own territory at the 27. First and 10 for Terrell Hunt. He has a rushing touchdown this afternoon on the previous drive. Takes a snap, looks right, floats one into the flat. Prince Tyson Gully makes a catch at the 20, sprints past the 30 and right out of bounds, ushered by Anthony Wooding Jr. towards the Wake Forest Demon Deacon bench. Anthony Wooding Jr. replacing a key member of this Wake Forest secondary game.
Yeah, A.J. Marshall fractured his fibula last week and Wake Forest lost to Miami. This is a guy that was honorable mention all ACC last season.
A big shakeup in the secondary on 2nd and 5. Terrell Hunt takes a snap and a quick handoff up the middle to Prince Tyson Gully before he's blasted backwards a couple of yards. Nikita Whitlock on the right side of the line records the tackle. Chuck Bednarik Award semifinalist on that line for Wake Forest. And only 5'10", he packs a punch at the nose tackle position. Loss of 1, 3rd and 6, this time on the far hash. Ball at the 31. Clock ticking to the 7-minute mark in the third quarter. With 4 wideouts, Terrell Hunt takes a snap, steps up, floats one over the middle, and it's over his intended receiver, Ashton Broiled at the 40. Wide open. Breaking past his one-on-one coverage, a missed opportunity for Terrell.
And that's something we've seen quite a bit this game. Terrell Hunt overthrowing some of his receivers. We've seen it with Jared West. We've seen it one play with Chris Clark. And now Ashton Broiled. That's kind of his Achilles heel. He has that speed, but sometimes overthrows.
Ashton is Syracuse's leading receiver this season with 30 catches entering tonight. Now on 4th and 6. Riley Dixon moves a sky-high punt from left to right across the turf. And it's fielded by Jared Crump at the 38. After taking a few steps forward and nearly falling over after catching that one on a fair catch. Just under the 7-minute mark in the third quarter, Wake Forest takes over its second drive of the third quarter. A 1st and 10 from the 38, 7-0 Syracuse on top. The second time these two teams have met inside the Carrier Dome in the last 3 years. Tanner Price with 4 wideouts in a shotgun. Josh Harris is tailback to his right. Fakes a give, fires one out to the flat. Bubble screen to Sherman Ragland III. Sidesteps one defender, reverses back across the 40-yard line, and just sits down backwards as Cam Lynch spilled him after a pickup of 3 yards. Cam Lynch, Syracuse's leading tackler this afternoon. He's got 6 now. He lines up to the right of the Syracuse D-line in an Okie package. Only 3 down linemen for SU. 2nd and 7, ball at the 41. Price takes a snap. Lefty throws. It's tipped up into the air and picked off by Isaiah Johnson. Caught it at the 25. Syracuse football. The freshman from Delaware has got his first interception. An athletic play, Gabe. Tipped it straight up and then dove on his belly to make the grab.
Enjoyed Isaiah Johnson, because that's not something that's going to happen a whole lot to a defensive lineman like that. But what a play. You said it yourself. You know, anybody who says these big fellas can't be athletic, I point to this play right here.
So now Syracuse takes over at the 25. 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Already up 7-0 in perfect territory to tack on some more points. Double tailback set. 3 wideouts for Terrell Hunt. Shotgun snap. Quick handoff to Jerome Smith. Reverse around to Jared West. He throws into the end zone. Caught. Syracuse. Touchdown. A 25-yard reverse to Brisley Esteem into the back right corner of the end zone. 13-0 Syracuse with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Halloween a couple nights ago, trickery on Ernie Davis Legends Field. Jonathan Fisher has got a boring old extra point now to make it a 14-0 game. The punter converted kicker as a line drive blocked at the line. Wake Forest scoops it up at the 30. Regardless, the play is over. Morel Noel got a piece of it and then scooped it up. 20 yards behind the original line of scrimmage. Well, take a breath for a moment if you're a Syracuse football fan. That might have been deep in George McDonald's playbook. Gabe, it was a handoff to Jerome Smith. Sprinted to his left. Jared West, who was lined up on the near sideline, came around on an end around like a reverse. And with his feet well behind the line of scrimmage, that's the key. Floated one up to the freshman out of Miami, Brisley Esteem.
Yeah, George McDonald's talked all year that he wants to try some of these trickeration plays, and that was one right there. We're just talking about how Isaiah Johnson should appreciate the moment, because that's not going to happen that much. Well, Jared West, they're not going to throw many touchdown passes, so appreciate the moment.
Oh, Robert Bocci down on the sidelines got a good glimpse of that. How far did George McDonald have to dig into his playbook for that one, Robert?